We're going to go to GT in Roanoke, Virginia to start this hour. Hi, GT. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. A little nervous and a little concerned after checking my credit statement the other day.
Okay. What's up?
Well, I've got over $500,000 in debt, and I'm getting ready to sell a house, but I just don't know what to do with the money, and I'm worried I made a mistake.
Okay. $500,000 in debt on what?
$30,000 in truck, $35,000 on land at the lake, $135,000 on the house that we're getting ready to sell, and $350,000 on the house we just bought.
Okay. And what's your household income?
160 to 180, depending on overtime.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would encourage you to separate out the debt when you're kind of looking at it, because that is overwhelming when you're having all of the 350 is your primary mortgage, right?
Yes, it is, and that we're moving into that one within the month.
Tell us a little bit about the house you're about to sell with the 135 that you mentioned. How much equity is in that house?
We've got it under contract for $260.
Okay. So you've already closed on the house that's $350, that's your main house, right? And that's your old house, right?
The $350 is the one that we closed on that we're moving into. The other one is the old house, yes.
How much did you put down?
We haven't closed. The $350?
Mm-hmm.
None.
But
it was sort of go ahead.
Go ahead. How did you do that?
It was a situation where it was about to be foreclosed on, and it was a great deal. It's probably worth $550, and the foreclosing bank wouldn't allow us to make a contingent on selling our own home.
Right. And so you just went and got a bank loan.
Yes.
Okay. Is the $350 now on a permanent mortgage, or is it still a bank loan?
Permanent.
Okay. All right. So you're set up then. The other house is sold. When you sell it, you've got the money to pay off the truck and the other $35,000, right?
Yes.
And you'll be debt-free other than your home.
Yes.
Okay. Where's the overwhelm part?
Just seeing $500,000 in debt. I've never had that much before in my life.
Okay. So you're doing all this two-step, and you just didn't look at how many different squares you were stepping on.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But now once you finish the dance, it's not overwhelming anymore, really.
No, I guess not.
I mean, you got $350,000 house payment. That's it. You've got another $60,000 laying in your checking account that we need to set some aside for your rainy day fund, your emergency fund. Let's call that $35,000, and that gives you $30,000 to put on some other stuff. Maybe get your retirement and your kids' college started with some of that. And so the end of the story turns out the wake up call and the lesson to be learned, it sounds like, is that the way you went at this left you more vulnerable than you like to be, and I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Because there was a moment here, and we're kind of still sitting in it at this moment until this house closes, the first house closes. There's a moment here where you're $550,000 in debt, and if it went sideways, you'd be messed up.
Yeah.
Like if the market froze up and you couldn't sell that other house, you'd be up a creek right now.
Yeah, I would.
And so the good news is it sounds like you're going to get out by the hair of your chinny chin chin and end up in actually a good place. But the good news is it scared you enough to make you concentrate more next time you were faced with a similar opportunity to hide the pea under a shell.
Yeah.
Am I missing something?
No, you're spot on. I just, like I said, once the numbers hit me, it scared me.
Good.
And I was like, what if something goes wrong?
Yep. Good.
Well, and remember that feeling.
Yeah. And so next time you go, because I used to do stuff like that all the time and until it took my dadgum head off. and I'm, walking around, like a Halloween costume or something looking for my head. It was gone. It just knocked it off. And I'm like, geez, man, my whole life got turned upside down here. I lost everything. I just about lost my marriage. It destroyed my whole freaking world. And so I don't even go close to that stuff anymore. And so that can be your lesson. Like, I kind of overstepped here. I was walking along the edge of the cliff and the rocks are falling off and I acted like they weren't, and I was singing and whistling a tune, and I made it back safe, but I'm not going to take that path again. I don't like being that close to the edge, and that's a good lesson. So just learn the lessons, GT. That's all I would tell you.
Yeah, and then just use the lessons you've learned to continue forward being responsible with your finances.
Now, stay away from the edge of the dadgum cliff.
Right, exactly.
That's really what it does come down to. So very, very good question. And so it's a good example, and his emotion came up and caught him. But if this had gone sideways, but now that it's turned out, it's really going to leave him in a very good place, a very reasonable place. He's debt-free, everything but his house.
Great income.
$350,000 mortgage with $180,000 income. That's not out of line. This is all very doable, okay? He ends up in a good place. But this is an example of, when he started this process, he doesn't know that's going to turn out, and that's what caught him and took his breath away. Most people don't even bother to have their breath taken away. They just go, oh, that's what I planned, and that's what happened. Here's the debt only works, or buying two houses at one time only works, or doing these things only works when it works. And most of the time, life doesn't work exactly the way you had it planned. And so that's when it gets your dadgum head taken off, and that's where you get to experience the borrower is slave to the lender, and a foolish man devours all he has. And in the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil. And these Bible verses that talk about living on less than you make, having an emergency fund, having a plan, and not being in debt. And that, that plan works in good times and in bad times. And so we had a call in an earlier hour today where I told a guy, do not buy the second house until the first one is sold. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Same scenario here, because you can get caught. Now, good news is GT got out. I'm happy for him. Happy he didn't learn the lesson except put his stomach in his throat without having to learn the lesson. That's good. That's good. I'm happy that there's no harm, no foul. I don't wish bad things on people. What I try to do is help you avoid setting yourself up where bad things can get you. Don't let them get you.